Absolutely. Manchester City picked up 3 points, albeit against Wolverhampton Wanderers, so they won't be getting too excited just yet, but they end their 4-game winless streak in the Premier League, and they are now 4 points behind Arsenal. Does Mark Gay's arrival, and I thought he was excellent, by the way, in obviously different circumstances, on Saturday, give them a chance of chasing down the Gunners, Darren?
Yes, in a word, because it will be defensive organisation and the confidence that he brings that could yet prove the difference between whoever wins the league and whoever loses out. And I think that there is a calm assurance that he brings to any defence that he plays in. There was a moment in the game where he put his body on the line. Another player did as well, whose name I can't quite remember. And Donnarumma came out and hugged them both. And it was a really interesting moment as well, because it showed just how much emphasis they are putting now into making sure that they tighten up at the back, which is where they've been weakest so far this season. There's been a debate as to whether Gahey keeps his side when the A-listers are fit again. Actually, I think he keeps his side regardless, his place in the team regardless, because those A-listers have had opportunities this season to keep their place, and their defensive record has been poor. If City get it right, I think City could win. I haven't yet ruled out Villa as well. I know we'll get to that in a bit. But if City can manage to get that right at the back and they can get Haaland scoring again, I think they could pip Arsenal. I do not think we play this, and as journalists and fans listening, we do this so often, season in, season out. We declare teams the winner with 6 months of the season, 5 months of the season to go. It is lunacy. It is like declaring the winner of the Grand National at the halfway stage after one circuit. Why do we do this season in, season out? Oh, they've got the best squad. That means they're going to win. They've got this top £50 million player. They're going to win. It is madness. And this season is making mugs of a lot of people who said that Arsenal would walk the league because they had the best players. It doesn't work like that. We've all seen way too much football to be seduced into thinking that.
Yes, why do we do it every year? Why do you do it every month, Alex Crook? Arsenal going to win the league. Liverpool are definitely going to win the league. Manchester City are going to win the league. Arsenal are going to win the league again. Liverpool are concrete for certainties for a place in the top 4. Why do we go so early? Maybe you can explain it to us as someone who maybe does that occasionally. I mean, not very often, obviously.
Well, you like a bold prediction on this podcast, but I'm going to keep my powder dry when it comes to the title race. I still think it should be Arsenal to lose. I do think that, because
Is that because you've run out of powder?
I'm still not convinced that Manchester City can go on the relentless winning run that will reel Arsenal in if Arsenal can just find a way to navigate these next few weeks. And actually, as much as I've said the next game against Leeds is difficult, you look at their games in February, Sunderland, who don't travel very well at home, Brentford away, obviously Brentford beaten yesterday, and then Tottenham in a North London derby were absolutely dreadful in the reverse fixture. So February looks quite kind for Arsenal in terms of the games ahead.
It's important, isn't it, that Manchester City have less of a reliance on Erling Haaland, and with Semenyo and Marmoush scoring this weekend, that was key for Pep Guardiola's team, who have a big Champions League game this week. They take on Galatasaray, who won at the weekend, drew with Atleti in the previous round of matches. They need points as well in the Champions League. Leroy Sané, how he would love to be a part of a squad that came back and caused Manchester City a bit of an issue. Victor Osimhen, Torreira used to play for Arsenal, would love to upset the apple cart. That's Wednesday night as we have match mayhem. There's loads of matches in the Champions League. Manchester City need points to get into the top 8. At the moment, they look the least likeliest to manage it. Let's just talk quickly about Villa and Newcastle, because Newcastle had a lot of the ball, didn't really test the goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, enough. There was one brilliant save from Lewis Miley's header, but Aston Villa again have picked up 3 points on the road with a Weldy. 33% of their goals come from outside the penalty area. This is their 13th strike out of 34 out of 35 outside the box this season. They just fire in rockets, don't they?
Yeah, and Morgan Rogers told us, didn't he, a few weeks ago, that it wasn't by accident. It's part of design and what they practice on the training pitch. Can they keep it going for the rest of the season? Well, who knows? Because they looked They looked dead on their feet, didn't they, in the game we did against Everton? So to bounce back from that, they won in Europe in midweek, and then to go to Fortress St James's Park, where not many teams have had much joy this season, and pick up a relatively comfortable win, I think you've got to take them seriously as title contenders. On the flip side, though, I've got a stat for you. Bruno Guimaraes, obviously absent for Newcastle, joined the club 4 years ago. How many Premier League games have they managed to win when he's been absent, do you think? In 4 years?
None out of 11.
None. Which is incredible, and shows just how important he is to what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it is amazing. What's his name again?
Bruno Guimaraes, not Gimme Rice.
We had a brilliant episode with Emma Kerwin, one of the newsreaders on talkSPORT on Friday, when she called him Bruno Gimme Rice. It was brilliant. I don't know if she was hungry or what, but she came up with a brilliant nickname accidentally. What do you think about Aston Villa? Can you feed the soul of the Villa fans who believe that they can win the title, Darren?
Well, last season, at the start of the season, Danny Murphy and Adrian Darren were on kick-off Monday night at 7 o'clock, whenever there isn't a Premier League game. We were asked for our Premier League predictions, and I said on that show that I felt Villa would challenge for the title. And Adrian in particular gave me short shrift. And I was a season too soon. But I did feel that Emery was building something special, and he's doing it now. The reason so many people feel they can't win the title is because lots of people aren't impressed by their caliber of player that they have. Not because there isn't the capability that they can do it. There is a precedent for teams coming from nowhere to win the league. We know this. Leicester have done it. I think when Chelsea have done it a couple of times from sort of, finishing 7th or 8th the season before. Liverpool were 25 points off the pace one season and came into the title picture the following season. It can be done. And they've got a brilliant manager. They can score goals. I looked at their team yesterday. He brought Tyrone Mings off the bench. He's just bought Abraham. It's terrific management because it's really inspired Watkins to go to another level. He was able to bring Luca Digne off the bench as well. He and Leon Bailey as well. He was able to bring off the bench. You're talking about international
Who's back from a
footballers.
loan spell at Roma, where it didn't really work out for him, and he's come back in. He's gone straight back into the fold, and he's getting on with it.
And this is my point. I think Villa do have the players, the squad, to be able to compete. What people have an issue with is that they don't think Villa's squad is A-list enough. And that's another one of the traps that we fall into. We think that it's the team with the money, the glamour, the A-listers who are the one. It's obvious they're going to do it. But we write off the Villas of this world, even though Villa have won now, 11 of their last 14 matches. They are absolutely flying, and they are showing no signs of stopping. And Tammy Abraham will make them he will only make them stronger in attack.
He's got a lot of goals for Besiktas this season. I think it's because they're a team, right? And they're very well coached. They're a unit. They're an actual team that work together brilliantly. Everybody knows their roles. Everybody knows how they're supposed to operate in the system. And if you watch them, you can see the shape work that's been done. You can see the detail that's been passed on. Yes, the meetings go on for an hour and a half. Yes, the players can sometimes be overloaded with information. But if you speak to the Aston Villa players, they will tell you they'll all buy into it because they can see that what Unai Emery is doing works. The information that he passes on, those long meetings in the video room where it goes through the clips, that it all translates to success on the pitch. And when, as a player, you're having success on the pitch, you're quite happy to take on those meetings and sit in those rooms and do those video sessions, because you know that's the only real way you're going to take on the information, because you can't train every day because you're playing every 3 days, and you'd be absolutely cream crackered if you went full tilt. So instead of overexerting yourself, you're playing games, doing recovery sessions, doing the meetings, getting the information on, and using that to better yourself as a football team. And I think they look like a team that is just supremely coached.
Do you know what would be great? And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but if we get to the last day of the season and Aston Villa are still in contention for the title, because you know what their final match of the season is?
Arsenal.
Manchester City away.
Oh.
Oh, amazing.
That would be great. Do you know what the other thing is actually, and just sort of moving on to the last day of the season, the current bottom 6 in the Premier League all play each other on the final day of the season, which is really
that right?
weird. Yeah, it's
Wow.
absolutely crazy.